it is Millerboy here. So today guys, I'm going to be showing you part 2 of how to make a quest for Skyrim using the creation kit. Now first of all, I recommend you go back and watch part 1. That's basically what we did is we got started, we gave the quest a name and ID, we gave some quest stages, and then we wrote what's going to pop up in the quest log throughout the quest. We also went and made Billy Bob, who's going to be the NPC, who's going to be giving us our quest, and then our reward afterwards. And then we went and made an enemy who was actually a leveled enemy. So what that meant was that if the level of the player was high, then the level of the enemy was also high, and vice versa if the level of the player was lower. Finally, we want to make a legendary sword, which is what we're going to be taking off the body of the enemy once we've killed them to go and collect our reward. So that's basically what we did in part 1. So once you've watched that, let's get started. Now actually, first thing I want to get off my chest is that hope you do pause the video at some point so you can take it all in, as it's quite hard for me to explain some things at some points, and I want to try and not confuse you, as I've made a few takes of this video to try and make it as simple as possible. But if anything gets a bit confusing, just take it slow and pause the video so you don't get confused. Anyhow, let's get started. So first of all, go and expand character. Go down to quest, go ahead and click it, and then you want to go find your quest that we created in part 1. So filter it out, and then once you've found it, go ahead and open it up. Now once you've done that, the first thing we want to go and do is, we did quest data and quest stages in part 1, so you probably think we're going to be doing quest objectives and quest aliases. I think it's aliases, or is it aliases? I don't know. But actually we can't do these until we do another step that we've not done yet, so that's why we're going to be moving on to Dialog Views today. So go ahead and click on Dialog Views. Now the first thing we want to go and do is, we've got a big white table here and a big white space. So go ahead in this table, underneath Dialog Views, you want to right click and click New. Now it will ask you for an ID for your dialog view, so go ahead and give it. So I'm just going to go with something simple, but this can be whatever you want. Mod Quest Dialog View, and then click OK. Now once you've done that, go ahead and click on it. And then in this big white space, which is actually your dialog view, you want to right click in it and click Create Branch. Now give it a branch ID. So I'm just going to go with something simple again. This is going to be our starting branch, so I'm going to call it Start Branch, but again you can call this what you want. Now it's going to ask us for a topic ID, but it also automatically adds the word topic at the end of our branch ID. So you can just leave it as it is and click OK, but again you can change this if you want to. Now once you've done that, you should have a big orange box in here, but if for some reason it doesn't pop up straight away, what you need to do is go ahead and click on another tab, and then click back onto it, and click it again, and there you go, you have the orange box. For some reason, sometimes the box just doesn't pop up straight away, but if that happens to you, then don't worry, just do what I did then. Now once you've got your big orange box, I want to explain this a little bit. So basically what this is, the big box on the outside, this is your branch, and that's why it has the branch ID in the top left corner. Now within branches it contains topics. Now a topic is this black and white outlined box here. Now within topics it contains infos, and within infos it contains responses. So all the infos and responses will pop up in this grey area. So the first thing I'm going to go and do today is add some infos. So the way we do that is we double click on the topic. Now here you go, you should get a window like this. Now the first thing we're going to do is we want to ignore subtype, because this is for things like here, rumors and greetings, etc. We're making a quest, so ours is going to be custom, so make sure that's custom, but it should be automatically anyway. Now do all before repeating. I'm not going to go into this much because again we don't need to do this, but for instance if I was making a quest that purely let you go up to people and say, do you know any rumours? You know them type of things when you go to a bartender, they don't always say the same things, do they? They say random things each time. And this do all before repeating button, this will make sure they say all the things that they're able to say before they repeat one. So if I had like it so they could say randomly, they could either say this guy has having an affair with this woman, and they could also say this guy stole a cheeseburger or something like that. They could say this guy was having an affair 5 times every time you asked them, and then they said cheeseburger. If we click do all before repeating, they'd say them in order before they repeated one of the others. So that's basically what it is. Now priority, so this is a bit self-explanatory. Again, this is just the priority that this topic takes over others. Now the only thing we want to go and do in here is in topic text. Now this is what the player is able to say. So when you go and talk to someone and you have that list of what you're allowed to say, like what have you got for sale, or do you have any rumours, or something like, do you need some help with anything? So this is basically what pops up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to type, do you need my bad ass, oops, put that as always one word, bad ass help, question mark. Now, so you just type in what your player is going to say. So if I click off this now, actually, into here, for instance, it'll pop up with a spell check. And that's a good feature about the creation kit. I think I may have talked about this before, but it's quite useful to have a spell checker, as if you make any mistakes when you write in dialogue, for instance, then it'll tell you about it. But right now it says badass is not in the dictionary, and I know it is because that's what I am. So I'm going to click ignore. Now, once you've done that, in this info section here, this table, you want to just simply go and double click in here. Now, once you've done that, you actually get a response window instead. And the reason for that is because, like I said, every info must have a response. So it asks you for the response first. Now, basically, what a response is it's basically the text that the NPC is going to say. So once we've asked, do you need my baddest help? He's going to say, well, actually, yes. And then exclamation mark. I don't know why I did capital yes. Let me just do that. And then he's going to say, some guy stole my sword, exclamation mark. And then he's going to, actually no, some guy stole my sword, can you get it for me? Oops, for me, question mark. Now, as you see up here next to where it says response text, we have 66 out of 149. So what this is, we've wrote 66 characters out of the 149 we can have. And you're probably thinking, well, that's not a lot. Well, like I said, in infos, there's multiple responses. And basically what a response is, it's just one line of text. So if I wanted, I could go and create another response after this. And after he said that, he would say the next line. So that's if you want to have like a big, if you want him to say loads of stuff, but I'll show you that in a moment. Now, script notes and edits, this is simply for your benefit. So I could type anything I want in here and it wouldn't affect the gameplay at all. This is simply for your benefit. So if I click into here, I could go and type, and now he says something, says something, there we go. That won't affect the game in any way at all. This won't be in the game at all. This is simply for your benefit in the creation kit. So I'm just going to go and delete that. So once you've done that section, now idle animation. So this is basically what the NPCs or the player is doing, you know, when they're not talking. Now this isn't used very much, and I recommend you don't, but you can have a mess with it if you want. I've not really used it very much, but so I could have it so let's say. There we go, applaud. So when they're not talking, they're applauding. That's for the speaker. And then you can do the same thing with a listener. Now, the thing we do want to do is here in audio. So this is basically how the actor or the NPC says it. Now, right now, we have nothing in this table, but we will in a moment. To have some things pop up in this table, we actually have to create the response. So we've not created it until we've clicked OK. Oops. So the only thing we can do right now is give an emotion. So in emotion, this is basically the expression on the NPC's face when they're saying this line. So we could have it so they could be surprised because they're like, oh, well, actually, yes, because, you know, they're not used to someone asking if they need any help. Now, the emotion value. Now, this is basically how surprised they are, for instance. So if I had 1, they would be a tiny, tiny bit surprised. If it was 100, they'd be mega surprised. So that's what I'm going to do. 100. They're going to be mega, mega surprised. Now, like I said, there's nothing in this table here, so we can't do anything else yet. So go ahead and click OK. Now, once you've done that, you should get a top info window. Now, the first thing you'll see is prompt. Basically, all prompt is it can overwrite, do you need my badass help? So in some cases, you may want to overwrite the topic text, and that's what you'd put here, the prompt. So I could put, do you need my help? And instead of popping up saying, do you need my baddest help, it'd say, do you need my help? Because we've overwritten it using the prompt. Now, moving down, responses. Now, like I said, you can have multiple responses. Now, if I put another response, if I right click and click new and made another response, basically what that would do is, after they've said, well, actually, yes, some guy stole my sword, can you get it for me? The next, they'd say another line, so that text would disappear and it'd pop up with some more text with whatever we put in the next response. But right now, we don't need to do that. Now, if we actually, because now we've created the response, if we go ahead and open it up, you have as you can see here in this table at the bottom, we have a lot more things because the game is trying to create a voice file for every voice type in the game because we've not we've not told them, what actor is going to be saying this. So the way we do this is just click off this for now, cancel. Now if you go down here into conditions, we want to give it the condition so only Billy Bob can say this, and that's the NPC who's given us the quest if you've forgotten. So go ahead and right click in conditions and click new. Oops, sorry, I don't know what happened there. Click X, sorry. I didn't. Right click in here and click right click and click new. Now here we go, condition item. So make sure the condition function is get his ID, but then where it says invalid, go ahead and click it. And now you'll get another window, and then in the drop down menu go and find your NPC. So mine's Billy, so there we go, mod Billy, and then go ahead and click in and click OK. And once you've done that, make sure it's equals and then 1, and then go ahead and click OK. So this basically says if the actor is not Billy Bob, then they can't say it. So this makes it so only Billy Bob can say this line, which is good because we don't want every NPC in the game be able to say this. So now once you've done that, if we go actually back up into the response and open it up again, as you can see now we only have one voice type, and that's the voice type that we gave to Billy when we were creating them. So yeah, it's quite useful to have the condition of the NPC. Of course, if we wanted to, we could just have no conditions, but then every NPC would be able to say it, and we'd have to make a voice type for every NPC, etc. So now, right now, if we actually went into the game, Billy Bob will have the option say, do you need my baddest help? And he'll say, well actually yes, some guy stole my sword. Well, they would say it, but you wouldn't see it. The reason for that is the length that the text appears on the screen is the same length that the voice file is played. And right now, we don't have a voice file, so the length it plays on the screen is more or less like a millisecond or 0 even. So it literally flashed on the screen like so quick you wouldn't even see it. So the way we fix this is we need to make our own voice file for it. And the way we do that is we click on the voice type we want to record for, which is the male orc. Then you want to go down to record, and then once you click this, you can actually record some voice. So make sure you've got a microphone plugged in, and then press it. So I'm going to do this now. So if I click it, and basically you should just normally, it's easy. It's best to just read out what you've wrote in response text. So I'm going to click it now and then read it out. Well, actually, yes. Some guy stole my sword. Can you get it for me? And now that's basically saved in a temporary file. It's not actually saved to the character yet. So what we need to do is click again on male orc and click save. And it says the WAV file already exists. The only reason this is popping up is because I've saved this before, when I was testing it out. So that's why it says for me to overwrite it. So I'm going to click yes. This probably won't happen to you if you're doing it the first time. This is only because I've done it before and then deleted it, etc. So I'm going to click yes. Now, once you've done that, it will actually save it to this actor now. Well, not actor, sorry, this voice type. So, if we went into the game, Billy Bob, the voice that will be played is the voice that I've just recorded. So now, if you want to actually hear what you've said, you can either double-click on the actor, not the actor, I keep saying actor. You can double-click on the voice type, or you can click preview down here. Preview will just preview the last recorded voice. If I double click on the voice type, it'll play what I've saved for that voice type. So it's best to double click on this to make sure you've actually saved it properly. So I don't know if I've set my recording up to record, my computer sound, but if I have, you'll be able to hear this now when I click it. Well, actually, yes. Some guy stole my sword. Can you get it for me? So I don't know if you heard that then, but that's basically what it will sound like in game, which we'll see in a while. Now, once you've done that, you actually need to create a lip file. And basically what a lip file is it makes the, when the NPC's talking, their mouth moves the same, as when they're talking. So if they said no, their mouth would move as if they're saying no. So that's what you need to do next. So the way we do that is you click on the voice type again. Then you want to go down to the bottom where it says generate lip file, and it should be grayed out. And then you click on the from WAV button, and then you click generate lip file. And then once you've done that, nothing else will pop up. It'll just be created. So once you've done this bit, you click OK. Now, we actually need to create one more condition, and the reason for that is because once we've advanced the player onto the next part of the quest, like stage 10 for instance, we don't want it so they can still ask if they want, if the NPC needs any more help, because no, they don't, because they've already told us that they need us to get their sword. So we don't want it so the player can keep going through this process. So when they get to stage 10, which is basically when the player's accepted the quest, we want this we want it so the player can't say this anymore. And the way we're going to do that is we want to right click and click new to make a new condition. And the condition function we want to look for is getStage. Now it should be somewhere down here. There we go, getStage. So once you've found it, simply click on the invalid button again. And now you want to look for your quest. So it's mod quest mine, but whatever yours is called, look for that. And once you've done that, click OK. Now the next thing we want to go and do is, because we're getting the stage, we want to do comparison and put the less than, and then in value we want to go and put 10. So basically what this does is this topic text will only pop up if the stage of the quest, mod quest, is less than 10. And then you click OK. So once we've advanced the player on to stage 10, this option won't pop up anymore. So that's good. So now once you've done this, you can go ahead and click OK at the bottom. Now once you've done that, you should have something like this, and you can go ahead and click OK again. Now you should have in your topic, should have an info now, a response. And it'll be what you actually wrote in your response earlier on. So, well, actually, yes, some guy, etc. So, the next thing we want to go and do is create another topic. And basically, what this topic is going to be, it's either going to be, yes, I'll help you, or no, I won't help you. So, what normally happens when you go to accept a quest, they'll say, oh, yeah, can you help me? And you'll either say yes or no. So the way we do that is within the branch, make sure you're doing it within the branch in the outer box, right click and click add topic. Now the next thing it'll do is it'll ask for an ID at the top, so give it another ID. So we're going to do mod quest yes. Oops. Yes, and this is basically when they accept it, so that when they say yes. So topic text again, you know how to do this, so I'm just going to go through this a bit quickly because we did this before. So they're going to go so what did he say? He said, oh yeah, can you get my sword? And he said, so I'm going to say, of course I can. And then once he said that, you want to create a new info again, so simply double click. And then the actor, sorry, not the actor, the NPC, which is Billy Bob, is going to say, oh, thanks so much, exclamation mark. And again, you can mess with some other things right now, but we're just going to give an emotion where he's going to be really happy because we've accepted it. And then we're going to put 100. Now again, no voice taps have popped up yet because we need to create it. So go ahead and click OK. And then we need to straight away make a condition that basically what it says is, if we create this new condition, is that Billy Bob is the only one who can say it. So click here and then write mod Billy. So find him or whatever your NPC is called. Click on it. Click OK, and then make sure it's equals again and 1. So click OK. So now the only person who can say it is Billy. So you can go back into your response now, double click to open it up, and now you see we have the voice type of only male orc because that's what we gave Billy the voice type of. So again, click on it and record it again. So I'm going to do that now. Oh, thanks so much. And then I'm going to click on him again, click save. And it'll say it already exists because, like I said earlier again, I've already done this once. So I'm going to click yes. And then once you've done that, click on them again. And then we want to generate the lip file. So click on from WAV and click generate lip file. And then after that, we can click OK. So we've done the response now and we've done the condition. And if you want to, you can actually put that condition that we did before where the stage has to be less than 10. But we don't need to do this because the earlier branch that we had, I'll show you in a minute because they all link together. So this one won't even be able, the player won't even be able to say this if the earlier one isn't able to be said, if you get me. So that's why we don't need to put anything in here. The next thing we want to go and do is, because once the NPC has said, oh thank you so much, we want to click the player out of chat. So if we didn't do that, then the player would just basically, it would just keep saying, oh thank you, or it just keep popping up with saying, of course I can, or something like that. So we need to click goodbye to make sure it clicks the player out of the chat. So click that tick box. Now, if you look at some of these other things, you may be able to, they may be a bit self-explanatory. If you remember from earlier when I was talking about rumors, this is random. So topic infos can be random, like I was saying. You can have other things like can move or greeting. That's if I was making things like hello quests. But you don't need to touch any you don't need to touch any of the rest of these other than goodbye for now. So go ahead and do that. Now, it's before clicking OK, you want to actually do something in scripts now. Now, in scripts, you have begin and end. And basically, what they are, begin is when the NPC starts talking, and end is what will happen when the NPC is stopped talking. So we're going to do it when the NPC is stopped talking. Now what we're going to write in here, we're going to do it so it sets the objective displayed to the stage of 10, and it sets the stage actual quest, the stage of the quest to 10 as well. And the way we do that is we type in get, and make sure you have the capital letters in the right place. GetOwningQuest. Then we put we have to two brackets like that. You need an open and close bracket. Then you put a full stop, and then you put set objective displayed, and then we want to do another open bracket and then type the number of the stage, which is 10, and then put a close bracket like that. Now basically what this does is GetOwningQuest, it gets whatever this quest is that we're working in now, which is actually mod quest, and then it sets the objective of it to 10. Now once you've done that, you want to click enter to go to a new line and do the same thing again. So GetOwningQuest, then the two brackets, full stop, but this time we want to do SetStage, and then a bracket and 10, and then a close bracket. So this sets the objective to 10 and sets the stage to 10. Of course we've not actually made any objectives yet, but that'll make more sense when we do later on. So once you've done that, the next thing you want to go and do is click compile. And once you've done that, we'll have a script here. So basically it's put what we've typed in here into a script. So if you can actually have a look at this, if you right click on it and click actually you can't edit source now, but if you edit properties, you can actually see what properties are in here, and right now there's nothing. But when I make other tutorials later on with scripts, we'll be looking in more into properties and other things like that. But right now there's nothing there, so make sure you click compile like I have there, and then go ahead and click and click OK. The reason, as you can see, I have my start bar, taskbar, even going down and up so it hides on its own, is because if you see, I can't actually reach my OK button, so I have to do this and then go right down to the bottom. But anyway, that doesn't really matter. Sorry if I'm confusing you. Anyway, go ahead and click OK once you've done that. Now, what you should have now is, if it's working, there we go. You should have in here, there we go. Oh, thanks so much. And then again, you can go ahead and click OK. Now, as you can see, we have two topics, but they're not linked together in any way. So what we need to go and do is remove this just to the side a little bit. As you can see on here, we can actually have, and we can actually connect this. Well, actually, yes. So once we've asked him, and he said, well, actually, yes, I need some help, we can connect it to some more options. Now, the way we do that is in here, we select it, and then once we've got this little hand, this little pinchy hand, whatever, we basically select, and then we drag, like this, to the other one we want to connect to. So we want to connect this one to this one. So we simply drag with the little hand all the way over to this, and then let go. And now you have a nice little arrow connecting them both. Now, of course, we've got the yes, he'll do it, but we also want the option to say no. So we need to make another topic and do exactly the same. So click add topic, and then again give it an ID, so it's going to be no, and then a topic text, no, I won't help you, exclamation mark. Then once you've done that, again, you can set the priority and stuff if you want, but you don't need to. Go ahead and just make another info. Oh, I've spelled something wrong. Oh yeah, I did that. Help. Oops, help. Change. There we go. Then double click to make another info. Should just take a moment to load. There we go. A new response. So again, you go, oh fine, fine then. Exclamation mark. And then down here in emotion, we're going to make him angry, because he's angry that we've said no. Then it's going to be 100, but again, I can put whatever I want in here. And again, got no voice types yet, so go ahead and click OK. Oops, sorry, I had a little burp then. Click OK. Now, the next thing we want to go and do is we want to make a condition again, so it's only Billy Bob. So click invalid, get the drop down menu, look for our NPC. I'm just going to rush through this again, guys, because you know how to do this now. OK, OK. Go back up to the response, open it up. Then we want to go ahead and click on our voice type. Click record, so I'm going to do that now. Oh, fine then. And then do that, and then select it again, click save. Select it one more time, click from WAV down here, and click generate lip file. There we go. And then after you've done that, you can go ahead and click OK. Now, the next thing we want to go and do is we also want to tick the goodbye button again, so he clicks him out of chat. But what we're going to do is we're not going to set the stage to 10 because you've said no. So we want to give the player a chance to go back and ask to do the quest again. So after we've done that a little bit, we want to go down to the bottom, click OK. Now we want to do exactly the same thing again, click OK, and we want to connect it. So the way we do that is we select it again, we get the little pinchy hand, and we drag to the no one and do that. So now we have two things. We have this here, and we have yes, and we have no. Now that one's a bit black outlined here, but now it's not anymore. That was just a temporary thing. But as you can see, we have yes and no, and they're connected. So once we've said this thing and the NPCs talk, they'll say, "Oh, thanks." So we'll have the option to say, "Of course I can," and we also have the option to say, "No, I won't," and then the NPC will respond accordingly. So if we accept it, it will move on to stage 10, and we won't be able to ask this anymore. If we do no, then it won't move to stage 10, and we can keep going back and say, "Do you need my help?" So once we've done that, we've done the main starting bit of the quest. So if we go to the character in game now, Billy Bob, and we go and talk to them, basically what will happen is that, well, we'll be able to ask all this, but once we get to "oh, thanks so much," once we've said "of course I can," and then they say "oh, thanks so much," it'll set the quest stage to 10, but nothing else will happen because we've not done anything yet. So that'll be for the next tutorial, but we're just going to add a little bit more dialogue now, I think, just to get ready for later on. So if we actually go back to our quest stages, just to have a look what we had set up earlier on. So if we click on 10, Billy Bob sent me on an adventure. So that's what would happen when we said yes. 20, that's when we've killed the enemy, and 30 is when we've got the sword. So what we want to go and do, now we've reminded ourselves that 30 is the point once we've got the sword. We go back to Dialog Views, and we click on our Dialog View, and we want to make a new branch now. So what we want to do is right click anywhere here in the white space, and create a branch. And in here, give it another branch, and this can be, should it be our finish branch? I think it'll be our finish branch, yeah. So it'll be finish, mod quest finish branch. Do that, and go ahead and click OK. And then again, it asks for a topic, so click OK. Now again, it's when our white again, so like earlier, click on another tab, click back, click on it again, and there we go. So remember guys, we're just going to go through the same steps we did earlier. So go ahead and open it up, the topic. We want to give it some topic text. So, oops, I have your crap sword. There we go. And then we can create another info. I spelt it wrong, oh silly me. So I'm going to click change. I have your crop sword, create another info. Should just take a moment. Oh, it's taking its time, isn't it? Here we go. Then he's going to say, oops. Oh, thank you so much. Here is 1,000 gold. There we go. I'm going to take the exclamation mark off because he's not that excited. There we go. So once you've done that, again, just give it some emotion. So he's going to be, let's see what else, happy. Shame I couldn't go over 100, but whatever. He's going to be 100 happy. And then once we've done that, click OK because we've not got any voice types yet. Then again, we need to make it so it's only Billy Bob. So, oops, click that by mistake. Do that. Mod Billy. Click OK. Click OK again. And now once you've done that, the next thing we want to go and do is, because we only want this option of the player being able to say, "I have your crap sword," if the stage is at 30. So, only when we have the sword. So the way we do that is we right click in here, click new again, and we want to go back to that get stage so we had earlier. So get stage, oops, get stage. There it is, click it. And then we want to find our quest again. So find your quest, and then click it, click OK. Then you want to make so it's equals, so make sure it's equals this time, it's not less than, it's equals, because we want the stage to be 30 before they can say this. And then type 30, simple as, and go ahead and click OK. Now, the next thing we want to do is simply in the scripting bit, because after they said, "Oh, thank you so much, here is 1,000 gold." Well, actually, sorry, I forgot to record a voice. So before we do that, go ahead and open your response back up and give it a voice. So click that and then record. "Oh, thank you so much. Here is 1,000 gold." I think I messed it up. Let me do it again. "Oh, thank you so much. Here is 1,000 gold." There we go. That's better. So click on him. Click save. Then once you've done that, click on them again, click from WAV, and click generate lip file. And then once you've done that, click OK. Now the next thing we want to go and do is in this little part here, this scripting part. After he said here is 1,000 gold, we're going to add some script. Now we're going to do something later on so they actually get some gold, but for now the only things we're going to go and do is do GetOwningQuest, and then we're going to do dot, and then oops, I missed out the little brackets, don't forget them guys, dot, and then set stage bracket 10 close bracket. Now if there's anything else I've missed here in this, like say adding gold, etc., and there's actually no need to set an objective because we've completed the quest now, but if I've missed any other scripting bits out, I'll put that in the description, or we'll do it next time in the next tutorial. But that's all you need for now. Oh, it's not 10, sorry, my bad. We need to set to 40 because that's when the quest is finished. So set stage to 40, make sure that's 40 guys. Now once you've done that, we can go ahead and click OK. And I just remembered guys, I didn't click compile then. Sorry, I'm getting a bit confused myself here. It actually automatically compiled for me if you saw it at the last second. If I go and open that back up, you see it's compiled. But make sure after you've wrote script, you always click compile and then click OK. So once you've done that, click OK again. And now as you see, we have oh thank you so much. So when it's the stage of the quest is 30, I can say I have your crop sword and say oh thank you so much. Here is 1,000 gold. So that's basically all it is for Dialog today guys. We may need to do one more or two things in Dialog later throughout this questing tutorial, but for now that's all we need to do. So just go through that, and we're going to go into game now and see what it looks like, but that's more or less it. So I'm going to see you in the game. Okay guys, here we are in the game now, and we're going to go and see if Billy Bob is working. Now let me just mention first, I actually had to mess around with Billy Bob a little bit because I had some settings so he was really aggressive, so as soon as I went in every time he started attacking people, but I fixed that now so that won't happen. But another thing that I just found also is that Billy Bob is actually working fine. I can talk to him, and then when I ask him, you know, do you need my badass help, it'll come out with the right voice file and it'll say, well yes, you know, my voice. And but when I go to say oh yes I can help you, or no, he doesn't play his voice file, and that's because I probably made a mistake somewhere, at some point along the way. So please make sure when you're recording you do the steps properly and you click save, etc. You know, generate the lip file, make sure you do everything right, and then you double click on the voice type to make sure it's been saved to it. And in some cases you might just get a random error where for some reason, you know, it just doesn't save the voice file, and that's happened to many people that I've seen on the internet so far with the creation kit, and it's just bugs in it basically. But hopefully your voice files will work fine. Anyhow, I'm going to go in now so I can show you myself. So in we go here, looking everyone in here. Where is Billy? Oh wait, there's Billy Bob. Oh, cause you Billy Bob.
Get out of control, and you're gonna wish they had.
Now, as you see, he has an orc voice, and that's nothing like my voice. So there is some points, like when you're recording your voice types in the dialog views, you want to try and sound more like your voice type. So mine's an orc, so make sure you sound like it a bit more if you can, or yeah, whatever. Okay. So talk to him. I'm gonna click. Do you need my badass help? And I'll listen. Well, actually, yes. Some guy stole my sword. Can you get it for me? And as you saw, he actually said the voice file was played that I recorded, and his lips moved exactly like you know, exactly like the voice was. So if I click no, I won't help you, as you see, nothing happens at all. The reason for that is because I've probably not saved the voice file right. But if I show you again in the light, as you'll be able to see his lips better now if I click it. Well, actually, yes. Some guy stole my sword. And if you saw his face, then his ears went higher, so he was surprised. That's just because he was surprised. So if I click, of course I can now. No voice file will play, but he'll be happy. So watch his face. Did you see his face? He went a little bit happy then. Don't know if you saw that. But of course the voice file didn't play because I've not done it right. So, but basically guys, that's it for dialogue, and that's all you have to do for adding dialogue in the game. So that's it for this tutorial. So yeah, thanks for watching part 2, and I'll see you next time in part 3. So yeah, remember, comment, rate and subscribe, and I will see you next time. Bye bye.